Hi, and welcome back to this course on understanding the annual reports, financial statements, and the 10K listed companies for the listed companies. The principles may remain the same for unlisted companies. However, the unlisted companies tend to provide much less data with their annual reports because they are not forced to provide certain information. So they may not be providing the too much information on the company's markets, the risk, the corporate governance. So those kind of data will not be there. The only data which you will may be able to find is the director's report, which is pretty much the not that much of useful because they are not much of data given, but it's still worth a read because that will give you the management's perspective of the company's performance. The but the listed companies have to provide a lot of information, which we have seen in the past here in the last videos. What kind of information is provided and which information is useful for us in financial statements analysis. So now in this video, we are going to discuss what are the steps that we can take in order to analyze the financial statements. So the steps which we have to take is the very first step is to understand the company's activities and risk as it's outlined in the reports. The 10K report has a very specific structure. The UK stock exchange has a very specific structure. The Canadian has a very specific structure. So you have a very specific section explaining the company's activities and the risk. However, this information may be missing in the annual reports. It may not be that easy to find the information in the annual reports because they are not forced to provide the information. However, you may find certain information about the risk, about the company's activities in the director's reports or in the management discussion and analysis to some extent. Otherwise, you have to research the company by yourself by going to the analyst websites, for example, Bloomberg, for example, CNN or BBC Business, Yahoo Finance, Google Finance. There are so many resources, right? So the first thing that you have to understand about the company is the company's activity and risk. So it will help you to make some sense of the financial data, in which market they are operating, what are their products and services. You will be able to connect the dots of your market information, which we're gonna gather the next into the information, and then who are the competitors to compare with, because to understand the annual financial report and financial performance of a company, you have to compare it with the industry, right, or with the other competitors that they are competing against, so that you can set up certain benchmarks in your mindset and compare the company's performance to ensure that they are in line or beating the industry averages, not falling behind, right? So because that's very important. Then the second step is you need to list down all the material news about the company in the company's operating space or their competition or in their geographical locations. So based on the step one, where you are trying to understand the company's activities, their risk, the geographical locations where they are, and then you're going to go and search the information which is available, because you cannot just rely on the company's disclosure. You have to have your own understanding, you have to have your own data or an analysis of what the company is operating about. So the one way is just go to the website, the public websites, search the company's name, and then you will be able to see the news which is coming out in the past 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, right? So here is so you can find it on CNN, you can find it on Google, Bloomberg, you can find it on the Yahoo Finance by searching the name and also the industry, right? So you may search, let's say you are searching for Apple, so you can search Apple plus also search the mobile industry, because you may want to get the news about Samsung, or you may want to get the news about other Huawei or other countries, other competitors which are competing in the space, maybe directly or indirectly, so that you have a better understanding of the market space. Because we will be used, then you can try to connect the dot between the company and also the event, which is how the company's annual reports or how the company's performance would be impacted by the news. If let's say the company's main competitor is going to launch a very aggressive campaign or a new product which you think is superior to the company in subject and is going to dominate our market, and then so you can in your mind map you will be able to understand that yes, the subject company may be losing some market revenue, right, or maybe some market share. So that you can compare in the annual financial reports or in the annual operating performance, say that if the company has actually lost it or did not lose it. If they did not lose it and they have managed to get the same market share with the or increase the market share, means the management has responded very well. If not, management may not have responded very well. Then you head over to the management discussion and analysis. So that's the third step. After the first step, second step, then the third step, in order to understand the story which is being told by the management. So by the time you have already gathered the material news, the company's activities, and you have made up your mind on what the company's performance might be, you may be in a better position to critically analyze the management discussion and analysis by the management, because this is a story by the management, by the company, not by somebody else. So you cannot just take it on their face. You have to critically analyze it. So there is a key data presented by the management and explanations and their prospects and what they plan to do. But you may not get the under 100% details of the plans, because the management is not going to give away their competitive advantage by giving all the information, but it may tell certain things, that what they are planning in the future, or what kind of activities that are being carried from one year to another year, maybe restructuring exercises, maybe new or reorganization exercises, which you may be able to understand from the cost that they are incurring. You may be the company may be doing some research and development exercises, or the increase in the expenditure or decrease in the expenditure will kind of indicate in which direction the company is going, right? So once you have read the management's discussion and analysis about the company's performance, then only you will go to download the profit and loss statement and convert it, and then you're gonna use the two methods. One is horizontal and trend analysis, vertical analysis, and then you will be looking at the ratio analysis of the company. So here is the Excel part, which is not really the biggest part of the financial analysis. The biggest part is the first three steps. Then the last step is just to check and confirm your understanding and try to see if there is anything else that you may want to get clarified and the management has not explained it, which we're gonna look at in our practical experience. And then you will be able to but all of this will be able to just only understand and diagnose the potential issues the company may have. So you may have to head over to the management or to the company to get more detailed analysis between your findings and what information is already missing from the companies balance sheets or companies annual reports, or the things that are not available in the news. So you may need to be able to do more research, get more details about the company. You need to contact the company to get more information about them, so that you can actually analyze the data. So this is the steps in brief. Now we're gonna be looking at the step in details and try to understand one by one what the company's annual reports says about them.